eggplant fresh from the garden may sound good to you, but if you've got kids in your house, it may not be on the top of their list. So today we're going to look at something that may help pull the kids into being eggplant lovers as well. But in order to get to that point, we need to talk about eggplant themselves. First of all, whether you have white ones, purple ones, big ones, little ones, the preparation is pretty much the same. All eggplant will absorb a lot of oil and absorb it very, very quickly. In fact, within about 70 seconds, it can absorb around 700 calories worth of oil. So we want to look at ways to minimize the amount of fat that you add, because whatever you put close to an eggplant is going to be in the food when you eat it. Now, another question comes to be whether or not you should peel them, and that depends on the condition of the eggplant that you have. If it's young, it's tender, then the peel is probably tender as well, and you can go with it without going through the extra step of peeling it. If, however, it's older, it's more mature, or it's simply been harvested for a longer period of time, you may want to peel it before you use it, because that peel could be rather tough to eat. These are fairly young and tender, and so we're going to go with them as they are. Another thing that folks are concerned about is the amount of seeds that are inside the eggplant. And there's really not a real good way to tell other than to determine whether or not the eggplant is real large. The more mature, the larger the eggplant is, the more seeds there are apt to be, but some are going to be more seeded no matter what. So you kind of have to live with what you get. The next thing that you look at is whether or not to salt them. Now, traditionally, eggplant are salted before they're cooked, and there's a couple of reasons, and one has to do with bitterness. Eggplant tends to have some bitterness to it, and the older they are, the more mature they are apt to be more bitter, but some are bitter no matter what. It also depends on who's eating it. Now, I don't have a lot of sensitivity to bitter flavors, and so I tend not to notice that. But somebody else who is very sensitive may pick it up, and so I may not salt them ahead of time where someone else may, because they can taste it where I don't see it. Now, this is very simple to do. You can either cut the eggplant this way and then make some slashes in it so that the salt can penetrate. Basically just make some X's like this, or you can cut it into chunks, which is what I've done today, because we're going to actually try and hide the eggplant in some spaghetti sauce for the kids. Once this is done, then you sprinkle salt on it in a colander and let it sit for about 30 minutes. Now, in addition to pulling out the bitterness, we have an additional benefit to doing some salting, and that's that it pulls the moisture out and makes the flesh more firm. And that, in turn, makes the flesh less likely to absorb the fat later on during cooking. So we can reduce the fat content in the food just a little bit by doing this pre-salting. Now, a lot of you are probably saying, well, we're trying to cut back on the amount of sodium in our diet, and so we're limiting the amount of salt. And so taking eggplant like this, throwing it in a colander with about a teaspoon of salt and letting it sit for 30 minutes to drain is not going to be something of benefit to us, because it'll increase the sodium content. But keep in mind that after 30 minutes, after a lot of the moisture has already been removed, you're going to turn on the water and rinse the eggplant. And this is going to wash away most of the salt, so that most of the sodium content is also going to be eliminated at this time. Now, those of you that are on salt-restricted diets may not want to do the salting, and remember that you can end up with a very good product without doing that salting, but you'll have something that's just a little bit different and may have a little bit more bitter flavor. Now, for most recipes where you're going to be putting it in a roasting pan or over a grill, you're going to want to pat this dry. And for what we're doing today, we're going to put it in a large baking dish and spread it out evenly. We've got the oven turned up to about 350 degrees, and we'll cook this for about 30 minutes or until it's tender. Now, you can do the same thing with larger eggplants, or you can leave them in halves, and again, it's just simply salting them and baking them or grilling them. The trick with grilling them, particularly if you're using a small one and you're doing it whole, make sure you skewer it, just like you do a baked potato before you put it in the oven. Otherwise, it may blow up on you. All right, these go in the oven about 30 minutes, 350 degrees. Once it's out of the oven, you can let it sit for a couple of minutes if you want to, particularly since it's for kids, and they don't like it especially hot anyway. You'll notice that the purple eggplant is no longer purple, and this is just a little bit hotter than I'd like to touch. Not too bad right now. There's some degree of purple left, but most of it has made some changes. Now, If I was going to do this for kids, I would probably actually cut it up into smaller pieces because they don't often, particularly young children, don't necessarily like to find things in their spaghetti that they don't know that was there to begin with or that's unfamiliar. But I think they'll find it very acceptable. Now, another thing that you can do to flavor this before you bake it is to add a little bit of vegetable oil, any kind that you like, since it's not going to withstand the heat of frying, either an olive oil or a dark sesame oil, just an ordinary vegetable oil if you'd like. But if you're going to cut back on the fat, then as you can see, it's not really necessary to add it. You could also use it on the spaghetti itself, and that's what I'm going to do with it right now, is just sprinkle a little bit over the spaghetti to flavor that. And that's just a nice olive oil that I'm using there. Now once this is baked or roasted, or if you wanted to do it on the grill, you could do it that way too. You simply stir it into your favorite spaghetti sauce. Now most folks have one that they like, or you can buy one at the market that's already prepared for you as a convenience food, which is actually what I did with this one today, is just use one that was already prepared. And this gets blended together. And we often see eggplant combined in foods almost in place of meat. And that's because it does have a fairly meaty texture, but it doesn't have the nutritional value of meat. So if you're thinking of using eggplant without adding cheese to it and that kind of thing, then you're going to be getting a dish that is not a high protein food. Add that over spaghetti, or let the kids add it over their own spaghetti. Put on a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Let's put a little bit more on that. Now this is not really enough to increase the protein content, but it will, by adding a strong cheese like this one, you don't have to add very much, so you keep the fat content down. What often happens is with eggplant dishes is they're used as a substitute for meat, but they end up being high in fat because they're either fried or they have a lot of high-fat cheeses added to them. Then decorate this a little bit, and you have something that is an interesting way to serve eggplant that may even get by some of your toughest customers, which are your kids.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.